How about this? Pro Football Focus today put out a list of the top 25 players in the NFL under the age of 25. The Lions have 5 players on this list.
Nice.
5 of the 25 players are members of the Detroit Lions, including the best player, number 1 on this list, Penei Sewell.
Wow.
It says although Sewell has already played 3 seasons in the NFL, he's still only 23 years old and will not turn 24 until October. His 3,359 regular season snaps over the past 3 years ranks second among all players. He is on his way to becoming the best offensive lineman in the league. Penei Sewell, building block, NFL.
Very reminiscent of Bruce Matthews, and I say that. You remember him being the Iron Man with the Houston Oilers and how many games he played consistently over 23 years. That's what you're seeing in the young Penei Sewell. Look, we go back and forth about the fun old comment about Penei Sewell, Micah Parsons, Penei Sewell. More and more you see what he's doing, what he's becoming, what his energy is, what his effort is. This may be a situation where, man, we may have been wrong about that.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, we may have been wrong about that. It may be time for me to come around and say Penei Sewell, in terms of the longevity of it, was a better overall pick. Hindsight is 2020. But 21 players, you got 5. 20% of the players on the list are Detroit Lions. Let that sink in. For someone that doesn't know what he's talking about 2 years ago in Brad Holmes. Like, that's how you win in this league. There are only 3 other teams that had 2, Maz.
Yeah.
2 players on this list. 3 other teams have it. So
awesome.
they have 5. And they have them in the positions where I want to say they were 1, 5, 9, 12, and then the other was 17 or so.
Well, I'll go through it. Sauce Gardner, number 2. Trevor Lawrence, number 3. Jamar Chase, number 4. Kyle Hamilton, number 5. At 6, Aiden Hutchinson.
Nice.
So you've got 1, you've got 6. Aiden Hutchinson. Hutchinson flashed potential in his rookie season in 22, brought his game to a whole new level in 23. His 91.2 PFF pass rush grade placed 5th and trailed only Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa, and TJ Watt. Pretty darn good group to be involved with.
First thing I thought about when you said that, look who's 1 in front of him. Same draft class. Remember, also projected to go to the Lions at some point. Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton. And he's 1 above 8.
He really is something.
Yeah, that was Easy's guy.
We were scared of him.
And honestly,
because he was a slow safety.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, if I tell you now, some years later, you could have Hutchinson and Brian Branch, who did not make the list.
Right.
Would you take that? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Because Brian Branch is not on this list, and he easily could be on this list as far as I'm concerned.
A little more work. Yeah, a little more work.
C.J. Stroud, Brock Purdy, Garrett Wilson, Trent McDuffie from the Chiefs. And then at 11, who do you think it is?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown will turn 25 during the 2024 season. Proved in 23 that his breakout 22 campaign was not a fluke. One of just 3 wide receivers to earn overall grades of 90 in both 22 and 23. Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson were the other 2.
Can I make a statement? I think the league is still underrating C.J. Stroud. Like, C.J. Stroud, when in its entirety is looked at, had a season that is arguably the greatest rookie season ever. You look at the stats, you look at the numbers, he got a home playoff.
But he's a rookie. Maybe that's why his is low.
Okay.
The other guy's got 2 years.
Okay, I
right?
give you that.
2-3 years.
Because I'm like, do I want CJ? Like, if I'm looking at this list of what players I want, probably taking CJ Stroud number 1 because he's a quarterback.
Well, forget about the rankings. Just look at the positional rankings. They've got Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud. Trevor Lawrence, number 3 on this list. Stroud, number 7. But
they're still
but
scared
nonetheless, if I'm starting a team right now,
quarterback,
C.J. Stroud, I'm picking over Trevor Lawrence.
100.
That's me.
Me too. Now, me too. Now.
Right. So
I'd be interested in year number 2, but he is in good shape to really become one of the best.
And now he's got Stephon Diggs.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's set up.
So for time, so Sewell 1, Hutchinson 6, Amon-Ra 11, Then at number 19,
Sam
Laporta. That's right, Braylon Edwards. Sam Laporta, multiple first-round tight ends have faced high expectations in recent years. Laporta, a second-round pick last year, was not one of them, but he arguably outplayed all rookie tight ends over the past decade.
That was the
Over
part.
the past decade. His 981 regular season snaps as a rookie led all tight ends over the past 6 seasons by a significant margin. In addition, his overall and receiving grades are second only to Kyle Pitts' rookie season,
who had
over that
1,000
span.
yards. Yeah, that's high
Quietly.
praise. That's high praise. The only thing you start to wonder about is the usage rate. You start to hear numbers about the catches, the snaps, the plays, and things in there. He's a big tight end. He does take some hits in there. You may want to calm the usage rate down a little
He
bit.
escaped a bad injury, too. He and us, we lucked out big time.
We thank Iowa strength and conditioning coach because that's exactly why he didn't get hurt on that play.
How about that?
Kyle Pitts, by the way, 25 on this list. First round pick, number 4 overall. Laporta, a second round selection.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Number 21 on this list, he is the 5th Lion mentioned, Jahmyr Gibbs. While he had a limited role initially, Gibbs got more and more playing time as 23 season wore on, became an electric playmaker for the Lions. And in the second half of his campaign, following week 7 after his return from injury, earned a 78.0 PFF overall grade, which ranked 11th among running backs, and his 82 rushing grade tied for 7th at the position. So Jahmyr Gibbs, 21. Sewell at 1, Hutchinson at 6, Amon-Ra at 11, Laporta at 19, Gibbs at 21.
Matt Broder on the chat wanted me to ask you, Bray. Do you agree Garrett Wilson over Amon-Ra St. Brown?
No, I would absolutely not do that.
Just who's a better player. That's what he's asking, not what I take. And Garrett Wilson, look, I'm not hating on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I hate when this happens because whenever I pick anybody over your beloved Detroit Lions, I'm all of a sudden a hater. But I just think with Garrett Wilson, there's the potential that he has, and he's already flashed it. He got 1,100 yards, and he was playing with Zach Wilson at quarterback on top of 7 touchdowns. So I just think once he gets a chance, you're going to see how good this guy is, pretty soon. But once again, Amon-Ra St. Brown is special, deserves all the money. You got to have no problem with that. He's a stud.
I would have to I'm not going to disagree with you on the talent aspect. I just don't know. Because of what Amon-Ra St. Brown has done over multiple seasons, it has not been a one-year flash in the pan at all. I would absolutely take Amon-Ra over Garrett Wilson. Now, over the next 2 years, if Garrett Wilson with Aaron Rodgers does a lot of interesting stuff, I think you can revisit it. But right now, at this point, specifically with what he's done over multiple seasons now, I think it's a clear answer, Amon-Ra. Just my opinion.
I'm not mad at that, but you look at Ben Johnson's offensive coordinator. He's been electric since he's been there. This is he just finished his second season. Got Jared Goff as quarterback. He got the best offensive line in football. Amon-Ra has a lot of weapons that played to his favor. Garrett Wilson got 1,100 yards 2 years in a row, 4 touchdowns with. Do you even know the quarterbacks' names that he played for? So I look at it
by himself.
You put Garrett Wilson in a system like that, that dude's electric.
I'm going to pick him in my fantasy draft this year. I can
Smart
tell you that.
dude. I'm picking Amon-Ra in mine.
Yeah. I always take Saint. I make sure I get Saint.
Oh man, that's great stuff. Yeah. Again, the one player that's not mentioned, if you look at the Lions, is Brian Branch. I think they easily could have had 6 players on this list. Right. At 22, by the way, I wanted to mention this. Gibbs was at 21. At 22, Jalen Carter.
Oh, wow.
So
and we didn't hear much about him, really.
Gibbs ranked higher than the guy that everybody wanted here. And if you had to do it all over again, let me ask you guys.
Good point.
If you guys had to do it all over again, knowing with what you know now, would you still want Gibbs would you still want Jalen Carter over Gibbs?
He would.
Yes, I'm still taking Jalen Carter over Gibbs. The whole team was hurt last year. Jahmyr Gibbs was in the best situation, the best fit for him, alongside Dave Montgomery. Once again, Ben Johnson in the system. So I still would take Jalen Carter. He's also a defensive interior dynamo, which means you're going to get him for 8 to 12 years at a high level. Running backs, what are we dispensing them after 5? I'm still taking Jalen Carter.
That's a toughie, man. I'm a huge Jahmyr Gibbs guy, but
I'm just taking my love out of it.
Yeah, if I take my love out of it as well, well, Carter should be there for a long, long time, man.
Yeah.
He's only going to get better and better, right? Don't you think?
I mean, I would say Gibbs, man. I think this guy's as dynamic as they come. And because it's such an offensive league now, you need a guy like him. I mean, he's a murderer. He can just murder you, just kill your defense, and used in so many different ways. Catch the ball, get a handoff, line up at wide receiver.
He made one mistake last year, and it happened to be in the biggest game of his career.
What was that? I don't even remember.
He fumbled against the Niners.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
He lined up on the
remember that,
wrong
actually.
side.
Yeah, it was a bad.
It
It was a mistake.
Yeah,
It was a bad play from the get-go.
yeah.
His only mistake as a rookie
Yeah,
was in the biggest moment, unfortunately.
he's a lot of people's favorite running back. I'm not talking about just.
I love him.
He's a lot of people's
I
favorite
love him.
number one running back.